everyone. Have a nice day. My name is Trishala Dumagsa from BSed English 2A, and today I will be reporting my topic. My topic is Lesson 2 Criteria and Choosing Appropriate Assessment Tools. So what is assessment methods? These are the strategies, techniques, tools, and instruments for collecting information to determine the extent to which students demonstrate desired learning outcomes. First, teachers need to select tools involves a process achievement in the target outcomes. Second, student learning styles vary widely with their strength and challenges with respect to assessment vary as well. According to Mehans 2001, the purpose of any assessment is to gather data to facilitate decision-making. The following may be considered in choosing appropriate assessment tools. First is the goals of assessment. Second, methods of assessment. Third, interval in giving assessment. One of the challenges for beginning teachers is to select and use appropriate assessment. That's their challenge. Teachers not only have to communicate the information they plan but also continuously monitor students' learning and motivation in order to determine whether modifications have to be made. So, the teacher may either be utilizing direct or indirect method. So, what are the examples of direct method? So, these are examination, written assignment, oral presentation, performances, portfolios, that's what we have making right now, and then that's the direct method. Indirect method examples are student satisfaction surveys, surveys of student and alumni, exit interview with graduating students, reflective essays, and other post-graduation performance. So, there is a question, and this is, what type of assessment that the teacher conducts after the discussion of the lesson? What do you think? So, it is summative assessment refers to cumulative assessment usually occurring at the end of a unit or topic coverage that intend to capture what a student has learned or the quality of the learning and judge performance against some standards. So that's all for my topic. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening.
Good day everyone. I am Marjorie Capin from BSed English 2A. So I am going to discuss about the rubric. So rubric is a set of criteria used to determine scoring for assignment, performance, or product. The main purpose of the rubrics is to assess students' performance. So in simple terms, this means that a rubric is like a checklist that teachers use to grade your work. It helps them decide how well you did on an assignment or project. The rubric sets out a specific criteria or score. For example, a rubric for writing assignments might include things like grammar, organization, and creativity. By using rubric, teachers can give you feedback on exactly what you did well and what you can improve on. So we have two example of or two types of rubrics. We have first the analytic rubric and the holistic rubric. So analytic rubric describes work on each criterion separately. So this means that an analytic rubric is a type of grading tool that breaks down an assignment or project into different criteria or categories. Each criterion is evaluated separately, allowing the grader to provide a specific feedback on different aspects for the work. So, for example, if a teacher is grading you a writing assignment, they may use an analytic rubric with criteria such as a grammar, organization, and creativity. So, by evaluating each criterion individually, the teacher can give more detailed feedback to the students on areas where they excel or need improvement. Next, we have the holistic rubric. So, holistic rubric describes the work by applying the criteria at the same time and enabling an overall judgment about the quality of the work. So, an holistic rubric is a way to evaluate work by looking at the entire piece of considering full aspects of it at once. So, for instance, if you were using a holistic rubric to grade the student's essay, you would consider things like the organization, clarity, and the depth of analysis all together to come up with the final grade. So this approach can give a more comprehensive view of the work and make it easier to see how well it makes or how well it meets the overall expectations. So now I am going to discuss to you about the use of technology. Using technology in managing assessment information, data can be represented in different ways to meet the needs of the students, teachers, and the administrators. So in simple terms, it means that technology can be used to organize and present assessment information in a way that is helpful for the students, teachers, and the administrators. So this means that instead of just using paper and pen to keep track of grades and the test scores, technology can make it easier to access and understand this information. For instance, online gradebooks for educational apps can show students their progress in a clear and organized way, making it easier for them to see how they are doing in the class. So next we have the computer-based assessment test. Is an electronic examination or e-exam is a test conducted using a personal computer or PC or an equivalent electronic device in which delivery responses and assessment are affected electronically. So this means that computer-based assessment is also known as e-exam is basically a test that you take on a computer or another electronic device instead of using pen and paper. So this means that everything from receiving the questions, answering them, and getting your results is done through the computer. So instead of writing your answers on the paper, you type them on a keyboard or select them using a mouse. For instance, think about when you take the quiz online for the school or when you do a test on a computer is a testing center. Next, you have e-exams were developed more than 4 decades ago for professional certification in the IT industry and progressively evolving as a preferred alternative to paper pencil tests or the PPT in schools, universities, recruiting fairs, and private and public organizations by Botams, Bukhar, Belio, and Baba EB 2016. So e-exam have been around over 40 years and were originally used for certifying IT professionals. Over time, they have become a popular choice, for exams in schools, universities, and for hiring in both private and public organizations. Instead of traditional paper and pencil tests, e-exam are becoming more widely used. This means that instead of writing your answers on a paper, you would take the exam on a computer or online. It's more modern and convenient way to test knowledge and skills. Next, we have the CBT is more efficient than PPT because it is individualized testing and has faster score reporting within a few minutes after last submission. The students can immediately view the score on screen and more convenient for teachers and students. So it means that CBT or the computer-based testing is better than the PPT or the paper-based testing because it is unpersonalized for each students and provides quicker feedback on their scores. So with CBT, students can see the results after finishing the test, making it easier for both teachers and students. This means that teachers can quickly assess how well their students did and provide feedback, and students can see how they performed without having to wait. This makes the testing process more efficient and convenient for everyone involved. Teachers may consider balanced assessment or the blend traditional and ICT assessment. So in simple terms, this means that teachers can use combination of traditional methods and technology-based methods to assess their students' learning. So traditional assessment methods could include things like written tests or quizzes, while ICT or information and communication technology based assessment methods could involve using computers or tablets to track students' progress or understanding. Electronic assessment tools are unlikely to reduce significantly the burden of assessment. So, this means that electronic assessment tools are digital tools that are used to evaluate and measure a person's knowledge or skills. This means that these electronic tools are not likely to make assessments much easier or less time consuming. For instance, let's say a teacher wants to give a quiz to their students, but instead of using paper and pencil, they could use an electronic assessment tools on a computer or a tablet. And these all are part of my report. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Joyce Kalayan and we're going to discuss the types of e-portfolio. So we have the idea portfolio, showcasing professional portfolio, documentation portfolio, learning portfolio, evaluation assessment portfolio. So first we have the ideal portfolio. It contains all the work of the student. It is not given to provide a students a grade. The purpose of ideal portfolio is to showcase the work of the progress of the student without the focusing on assigning the grades. A portfolio serves as a comprehensive collection of the student's achievements, skills, and growth over time. Second, we have showcase professional portfolio, primarily a way to demonstrate the highlights of a student academic career. With example, a showcase or a professional portfolio is a valuable tool for students to highlight the key accomplishments and projects for their academic career. By including examples of their work, students can effectively demonstrate their skills, knowledge, and achievements to potentially employers or educational institutions. These portfolios serve as a visual and representation of the students' capabilities and can provide concrete evidence of their abilities in various areas. Additionally, showcasing specific examples can help students stand out and make a compelling case for their qualification and potential contribution in their chosen field. Third, we have documentation portfolio. Documentation portfolio involves a collection of work over time, showcasing growth, improvement, reflecting student learning of identified outcomes. A documentation portfolio is a collection of work that showcase students' progress and improvements over time, reflecting their learning of identified outcomes. By documenting their work and achievements, students can track their growth and develop their rationale to specific learning objectives or goals. These types of portfolios serves as a visual presentation of the student's journey, highlighting how they have evolved and improved in various areas of the studies. By including examples that demonstrate their learning outcomes, students can effectively communicate their skills and competency to others, such as potential employers or academic institutions. Overall, documentation portfolio is a valuable tool for students to reflect on their learning experience, showcase their academic growth and achievements. So, what is the difference of ideal portfolio and showcase professional portfolio and documentation portfolio? An ideal portfolio typically encompasses all of a student works, showcasing a comprehensive collections of their achievements, skills, and growth over time without focusing on assigning grades. It serves as a reflection of the learning journey and capabilities. On the other hand, a showcase of professional portfolio is more focused on highlighting the key accomplishments and projects from the student academic career. It includes specific examples of their work to demonstrate their skills, knowledge, achievements to potentially employers or educational institutions. While the documentation portfolios focus on providing evidence of the student's learning and development. Through the documentation of their work, progress, and experience, it may include reflections, feedback, assessments, and other supporting materials to showcase the student growth and achievements in a structured manner. Four, we have learning portfolio, or typically created by a student as part of a learning activity as a way to demonstrate learning and learning process. So, learning portfolios are commonly created by the student as part of the learning activity to showcase their learning journey and the process of acquiring new knowledge and skills. These portfolios serve as a reflective tool for the student to document their progress, challenges, and achievements. Through their educational experience, by compelling evidence of their learning, such as assessment, projects, reflections, and assignments, students can demonstrate their growth and development over time. Learning portfolios provides a comprehensive view of a student learning process. It can be used to assess their understanding, critical thinking skills, and overall academic performance. Number five, we have evaluation assessment portfolio. Teacher may utilize this for both formative and summative assessments feedback. An evaluation assessment portfolio is a tool that the teachers can use for both formative and summative assessments to provide feedback to the students. This type of portfolio allows teacher to track and evaluate student progress over time, providing valuable insights into their strengths and areas for improvements. By utilizing this portfolio for assessments, teachers can offer constructive feedback to help students enhance their learning experience and achieve their academic goals. The feedback provided through the evaluation and assessment portfolio can be used to guide students in their learning journey and support their continuous growth and development. Key difference between a learning portfolio and evaluation assessment portfolio lays in the primary objectives. The former emphasizes the learning process and growth, while the latter focuses on demonstrating mastery achievements of specific learning outcomes.